PC gaming is more popular than ever, and it's actually quite easy to see why. We've got things like exclusive games, exclusive genres, and of course the ability to play on any screen with any resolution or any refresh rate that your heart or mind desires. But there's also quite a big stumbling block for new players into this platform, and that's the PC itself, and there's often a question that comes up. And that is whether it's worth building your own PC or just going out and buying one pre-built. Now, I'm going to tell you right now that there is no definitive right or wrong answer, but I did want to help out where I could and show you the advantages and disadvantages to doing either. And this video all came about when MSI and box.co.uk sent out one of their latest systems, which, yes, it's very much a heavily MSI branded system. Personally, I actually quite like this, although I am a sucker for red themed builds, but if you don't want something that's quite so garish, then obviously you can get something that isn't. This is a special edition Master Box 5 case with that MSI branding. I don't think you can actually buy it separately, although that may change or may have changed by the time this video is released, but regardless, it is a good looking system. And pretty much all pre-built systems will be shipped to you in a very similar way, which is completely built. You don't need to do anything at all. They come well protected in an outer box, and then inside the case itself you get some expandable foam, and then you'll be given another box, which in this particular system it's the motherboard box that has all your goodies and all the spare parts and things you will need. Whereas if you do go for building your own, then you'll have about 10 to 12 different boxes turn up, with retail packaging for pretty much every single component that you've bought. Setting up a pre-configured system is really simple because all you need to do is grab a power connection, plug it in, connect it to your mouse and keyboard and display, and that's it. Setup should be already done for you, or if it hasn't, then it's very, very simple and you just install all the different drivers for everything you need, but this particular system had it all done for me. So I was actually gaming within around about an hour of getting this thing out of the box, which I think is really impressive. And obviously you are paying for this convenience, as we will discuss in a moment, but for people that want the easiest way to get into PC gaming, then this is definitely it. But it's not just the build and setup process that's done for you. On a lot of systems, including this one, it comes pre-overclocked, which means you don't need to worry about clock speeds or voltages. You're just going to get extra performance for that CPU without having to worry about stability or anything like that, because it should come all pre-tested for you to make sure that it all works. And that goes for the entire system as well. You often get a warranty with the system, so if there's something wrong with your PC, that's as far as it goes, and that's all you need to know. You will send them an email, you'll give them a call, and then a lot of the time you can either send it off or they come out to you, look at the system, and then actually tell you what's wrong and obviously make a replacement and get you up and running as quickly as possible. Whereas if you build it yourself, if something goes wrong, a lot of the time you actually have an increased warranty, but the warranties are on individual parts and you need to actually know what's gone wrong. So if you're having a blue screen of death, you've maybe got to work out that it's a particular RAM stick, let's say, that's not working, rather than just broadly being able to say, the PC's not working, can I get some help? But obviously there are a few disadvantages. The main two really are choice and cost. Cost is probably the one people are going to guess is the biggest problem. And in a lot of cases, and in most cases, obviously this is correct. And really it's just that buying a pre-built system, there's a middleman. You're paying someone to build this for you. I mean, you don't get something for nothing, right? And this particular system costs £1,999. And I could build a very, very similar, but not the same system for just under £1,600. So for around about £400, essentially you get a special edition case, braided cables, and it comes assembled for you, ready to go with that warranty on the PC. And then as for the other reason, choice, well, what do I mean by that? That more just comes down to the fact that because someone else is building the system for you, you don't always have complete control over what goes in your system. And while something like this, that's quite high-end, has pretty much everything I'd want in it without cutting any corners, you can often find a lot of cheaper gaming PCs may sort of forgo an SSD, they may use a cheaper power supply, and while a lot of places will sort of let you have complete control over what goes into this system, Sometimes it can cost more to do this, either because they're taking time out of their day to obviously swap components, or because they've got business deals with different companies to sort of use their brand, which means that swapping something out to something else might actually cost you more money as well. So those are the advantages and disadvantages of a pre-built, but what about building your own? What's the deal there, and is it actually as complicated as people say? Well, my history is that I started building PCs in around about 2010, 2011, and my first one, I'll be honest with you, it went fine, but not well. What I mean by that is I'd chosen all the right parts. I spent around about 3 months actually deciding what I wanted in my system. And then once I'd got everything, there was a few parts like the case that maybe could have been a little bit better. And because I've never built a PC before, while I had clear instructions from a load of online videos and instructions, realistically, I'm not going to sit here and tell you it's going to be the easiest thing you've ever done, because it's not. It's not hard, it's quite easy to get annoyed, and because obviously you're spending a lot of money on these components, it can mean that you can get quite frustrated and at the same time quite worried that you're maybe going to damage something. And in most cases that isn't going to happen. I mean, I've been building PCs for quite a few years and I do them every single fortnight really, obviously for this channel, and I think I've only really come across maybe 2 times something has actually broken. But I still don't know whether that's my fault or whether because it was sort of shipped to me in that state in the first place. So realistically, even if something does go wrong, you can swap out a different component, and it's very unlikely you yourself are going to break something. If you're worried about ESD or electrostatic discharge, then you can sort of wear a strap. That will completely eliminate this problem. But the main thing really that you're probably thinking is, isn't it quite difficult? I've never done it before. I don't think I'm maybe up to the task. Well, everyone thinks that the first time they do it, and I assure you, it really isn't that bad. You've just got to sort of allow yourself plenty of time, and you've got to be quite willing to learn what the different things in the system do, and how to connect everything, because there's no soldering or anything like that. It's just like slotting things in, plugging in different cables, and once you've done it a couple of times, I assure you, you can build a system in around about an hour and a half, because it really actually isn't that bad at all. But there is a first time for everything, and if you are worried, then there are plenty of guides online, including one I did myself over in the top right hand corner around about 1.5 years ago, that takes you step by step and shows you how easy or difficult, I guess, it is to do, which I think is actually pretty easy. But I'm not going to sit here and tell you that one thing is better than the other. If you're looking at this purely from a price point of view, then saving that £400 or however much it is for the particular system you're looking at is going to be the major factor for a lot of people, and it's the reason that I decided to sort of build my PC in the first place. But neither is right, neither is wrong. It's important to understand that the main thing with building is that you need that education, whereas if you just get it pre-built, then you don't. So if you're prepared to pay for the not knowing, if you like, how to get it all done or the ease of use, then great, go ahead, be confident in doing so. And if you're like me and you prefer to have complete control over everything in your system and save some money in the process, then great. So really, that's pretty much everything you need to know. If you have liked this video and you found it informative, then hit the like button and subscribe. Do go and check out this system over on box.co.uk if you're interested. They didn't sponsor this video, but obviously they did take the time out to ship this system, which I'm grateful for. And if you do have any questions, leave them down in the comment section below, or go and check out my video showing you how to build a system. A massive thank you once again, and I'll see you in the next one.